Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. How we doing, Mr. Peacock?
Good. Feeling good.
I missed you all. I was out about, what, 6 weeks, was it? Yeah. 6 weeks, more or less?
At least building an underground dome for the government.
So I had started out the beginnings of a lesson, and before I left, it had been so long, so what I wanted to do was kind of combine the two halves together and give you all the whole lesson today. All right. At any time, please stop me. If we got questions, I will do my best to answer, and I will probably be asking you all questions.
Okay.
All right. Let's go with it. Let's go. You all remember the name of my lesson was Back to Basics, and it's involved in the Ten Commandments. Something that was and still is heavy on my heart, especially with what we're seeing out there today. With
She's like, I need to interrupt you.
what's happening in our schools and what's happening, just what we're seeing in society. But yeah, are we doing what we want to do or what our Adonai wants us to do? And this button right here.
Yes, sir.
The side to the right.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Okay. But first off, we're going to start with our Mr. Cosmos. On 1, 2, 3. We are learning to walk through obedience to the Torah together, building an Abba and Amma from the Ab to the Yah, and Ruach, Yeshua, Ben Yahuwah. Right. And like I said, this is going to be a repeat, but we're going to go back through them quickly, the first part. And if you got questions, some people might not have been here. First questions are, were the Ten Commandments that Moses brought down on tablets the first time that y'all's laws were heard of? Or were these commandments known to the people long before Moses' time? Can somebody pull up Genesis 26, 4-12?
Give me my.
Oh, you can read it right here too.
Okay, that's it.
You guys don't
Anybody?
Well, I'll get it. I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and will give to your offspring all these lands. And in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, statutes, and my laws.
So that pretty much answers that question, right?
But remember, we're New Testament church.
We're who?
A New Testament church.
Pretty odds. Second question. Why were the Ten Commandments written down for us? Anybody, before I go into it? Give me, yes. What do you think?
So that we won't leave the Lord in that place, like when other people who did that in the Noah story.
Okay, all right. I see where you're going with that. Go ahead.
So that way, we don't act like we knew.
Yeah, that could be also. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, but maybe so we would remember.
Right, because once we write stuff down, it's there for how long?
Ever.
Should be forever. If was something to codify. Because before that, what would they have? All these laws, commandments, statutes were passed on via what?
Oral tradition.
Oral tradition, right? So once he wrote it down on tablets, it was there. They could go back to it. Yada yada yada.
Right.
All right. So let's begin. Y'all was not giving Moshe a brand new law on Mount Sinai. He was merely giving a codified or formal version of his law so that it could be used to govern the emerging nation of Israel. But first and foremost, he had them written down because he loves us.
Hallelujah.
All right. Now let's begin. Let's do it again. There we go. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Can someone read the first one for me?
You shall have no other else before me.
Right, the first commandment. It was repeated again in Tehilliym. You shall have no other else before me.
Hey, no.
Why do you think that was the first commandment out of the 10?
Because they were whoring after other gods.
Exactly. So he wanted right off the bat. This is the way I see it. He wanted to establish something right off the bat. There is nobody but me.
Yeah.
All right. Before I go into everything else, know that I'm the one. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's a jealous animal.
Very good.
Yeah, he
answer.
makes that very apparent.
Yes. Okay, I already asked that one. I better slow down, huh? Why do you suppose he gave us this one? Okay. For this one right here. I said, can anyone give us any examples of this in today's society for Shemot? Why is this thing not working? There we go. I got it reversed. Exodus 20:4. You shall not make for yourself a carved image of any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Verse 5. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous El, like you said there, young man, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. Now, can anyone give me examples of how we see this in today's society? What do we see going on?
Women trying to be men. Men trying to be women.
Yeah, both ways.
That was said, what was just said is women trying to be men, men trying to be women. How would we say that? How would we say that? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. The first part there. Carved images, likeness of anything in heaven above, down below.
Jesus on the cross.
Boom.
Yep.
Most Christian churches, we do see that long-haired, sandy blonde, skinny man.
You mean Caesar Borgia?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about anything in heaven above? What do we see?
People were like, you're a Gemini? No, we ain't gonna get along. I'm like, what? Astrology.
Astrology, studying the stars. What's your sign? You know. Well, I'm not asking you. I'm saying, you know, that's what used to be popular when I was
Hey, what's your favorite
younger.
time?
Acting like when you walk on the moon.
And I said,
We went over that last week, okay?
Yeah, exactly. What about the earth beneath? Who said that? Oh. Go ahead.
I mean, they have a lot of stuff that they say that lives underneath us or whatever, like in the ocean or underneath the layer, the first layer, like in the ground. Like, you know, some people believe certain things because I believe he said this because there were so many different gods that people worship. And one of the things is things that like are lived underneath.
What was a Greek god that lived?
Poseidon.
Boom. Yes. There was Neptune.
Neptune or what's the other one? Hades. That's the place.
Hades is the place,
But what's
but
the man? The
That was
person.
man Hades.
place of
His name is Hades?
Yeah.
His name is Hades. The place is called the underworld or Sheol or
Yeah, Sheol. Yeah.
Tartarus.
Now, who was the god that ruled the underworld? Was it Hades?
Hades
Boom.
rules the underworld, okay.
Right.
It's
So,
referred to Hades as
As a place
hell
also,
when,
right.
like, we're
Yeah.
speaking biblically and.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is going on long before.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yes.
I got
Yes, I'm sorry.
example too of like a lot of our people that's the Kemetic ideology. Because the pyramids exist, they see the hieroglyphics and they've seen the mummies and the art and stuff. They see that, so they cling on to that. It's like that's my identity. We Egyptian, just because they can see it.
That's it.
A lot of people can't get over the spirituality. They gotta see something, and feel it, and touch it to believe in it. So that's
Or diamonds, like crystals and stuff, that maybe could refer to that because that's in the earth.
In the earth,
underneath
right.
the,
Exactly.
in the ground.
What was that cartoon we used to watch? But I mean, they have these, but they're like statues of these like gargoyle looking type.
It's called
Gargoyles.
Yeah, gargoyle.
Yeah, that was
the name of the show.
Fox 25 on
that's the
Oklahoma.
cat of the Smurfs.
Is
No,
That's
the wizard of the
That's the
Smurfs.
wizard.
Yeah.
And then also for the other one, man, like people making the baby white angels, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That, you know, those are
And
everywhere.
bow down and pray to him and
The whole
everything
nine.
else.
When I had a Catholic friend and she when we actually read this verse, this back when I studied Christianity, she was like, well, why do we do all? I was like, I'm asking the same question. Why do you do it? You know what I'm saying? What's the point in doing
Why
all
do you
that?
make it wear huggies? Like, why do you make it wear a diaper and stuff? Like, you notice that with the angels, they always put it like in a diaper or like have it naked. Like, they have it like the shirt, the top is off, or it's, these weird, like these wings,
White
and they have this
baby angel,
white, like
And
blonde
it's only
hair.
them. Like that's the crazy part. Y'all don't want to make
I don't
it.
even know what that
Nobody
looks
else. I mean, nobody else gets to that. I guess it's just okay.
Because I look at just, I'm a KISS guy, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I also think, well, what do we see in a lot of churches? That cross. People go down and bow down to it. That's a carved image.
Yeah.
What do we see in everything in the shaman and flying around? The birds. People put them. I used to have a little bird on the back of my truck.
Oh, yeah.
You're a fish.
The dove, or the fish, the fish,
The
yeah.
fish. Yep. So that's how I look at it also. Yes, ma'am.
That'd be like Catfish Fridays too.
I look at it, I'm leaning on the way that Aaliyah goes, because of what the likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, that would be in the angelic beings, or the stars and stuff like that, but also it says, or that is in the earth beneath.
Right.
There are true manifestations of demonic demons and stuff
Yes.
like that, so when these people see this, they carve out images or create images of the demons that they see and that they do worship. Or that is in the water that is underneath. You have, the mermaids. And all of these things are real things. Because if you look in the water, there are some underground cities. Plus in Revelation, it talks about, talking to the inhabitants of the earth that are in the heavens, that are on the earth and that are underneath the earth and in the water. So there's something going on.
Yes, more than our science
Yeah.
wants us to
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
I saw a video the other day too where this UFO stuff, it's literally becoming a religion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're like that Richard, what's his name? Gear, whatever's that guy. He claims he worked at Area 51 and he knows the secrets and all this stuff.
Lazar?
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Bob Lazar, that's his name.
Bob
Yeah.
Lazar.
But yeah,
Richard Gere.
Yeah, he's doing these things now where people come, they pay to go to these little things and we're gonna have a meditation session and connect with them and all this kind of stuff. And they're worshiping these entities like they're here to help mankind, they're gonna save us. So it's becoming a religion. So that's gonna be a big thing coming up here.
Is it just now becoming, or have they always been trying to?
Cult back in the day, did a lot of them end up committing suicide?
Oh,
with,
the Halo Box. Remember the Halo Box people back in the day?
They want to catch on the trails of that.
Yeah, they said the UFOs on the other side of the comet, they kill themselves so they can go meet the demons to pick them up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have
You don't remember this? This really happened. And these were professionals. These were people who were doctors, lawyers, accountants,
Of course.
educators.
Well, yeah.
So educated.
So-called educated, yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Smarter you are, carnally.
They committed suicide all together in one house because they thought
This happened in the early 90s, right?
Well, in 2002, the year 2000, remember they kept talking about the whole Y2K thing?
No. Yeah.
Well, they had a bunch of Hebrews actually that went and stood up on top of buildings and stuff and were saying that like chariots were gonna come and
Wow, I ain't never heard nothing like that.
kill Hebrews, like
What that
yeah, I'm talking about Hebrews, huh?
Was that GMS that did that?
I don't remember if it was GMS or what group. I don't know, but it's one of those paid agent groups. I can't remember. But they had a bunch of people like that went up to like a skyscraper and was like standing on top of the building, and I guess they were waiting, saying that when Y2K hit, like once the power and everything went out, that the chariots were.
And then they hit their watches and were like,
And then that was false prophecy, and nobody got
false
stoned.
prophecy.
Yeah.
Had to walk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2000. It was that Y2K thing.
Next one, can you read that for me, ma'am?
It says, you shall not take the name of the Yahuwah, your Elohim, in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain.
Wow, what does that look like?
When people say, oh my God,
Really?
they say it a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, Dalton, since you're asking, so the only reason we looked into this a while back, right? As far as vain, supposedly supposed to mean like Hebrew, like emptiness. It's almost like you're taking something for nothing. Like it has no value. It has no nothing. And can you imagine taking the Most High's name as if it was nothing?
And the reason I asked, because I saw your face and when he said, what phrase did you say? Oh my God.
Yeah.
OMG, is that really using, because this is taking his name in vain. We look at his name as right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I guess it's like with Christians, when they go to church, they're like, oh, I praise God and all that, and then like, let's say when Christmas comes, they celebrate Christmas, but you know that Christmas is not in the Bible and it's a pagan holiday.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's the way to look at it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I would say, kind of like practice, saying like, oh yes, I praise God, but then you go ahead and like, you cheat on your wife and then you do Halloween with your kids.
So you're saying that you believe in him, that you praise him, but you turn around and do pagan worship type things. Okay.
You know, you think about it, they're actually right because what does name mean? It means
Authority,
carrying reputation.
You're taking his authority. It's almost like you're supposed to be a representative of him.
Yes.
Right. So if you're going to be a representative of him, and then you're doing all of this stuff.
To your children.
So it's in vain to bring his reputation to naught.
That's
To nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that one.
Anybody looking to the origin of the word God? Where the word God come from?
The actual deity.
Yeah, not Yahuwah, obviously, right?
Yeah, just the title.
Because yes.
God, yeah.
Well, because we use the word Yahuwah, right?
Right.
But if you look at the King James version, it will say God, right? It will say, "You shall not take the name of God."
God, right. Where they come from?
The name itself is a deity.
From where though? That's my thing. Like, did anybody?
Oh, I thought you were gonna educate us.
Back in the day, but not recently.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
It is from Germany.
It's Germanic.
And it's actually, because I saw it the other day, actually, because we were having I wasn't having a debate. I was on Facebook and, people talking, so I did see that it's actually a deity. That deity name is a deity. And I'm not sure, I was saying that it's Germanic, but I'm just not sure, but I'm thinking that it's It's a European, it's a.
Right.
European
So-
origin.
So in French, right, we say Dieu for God, right?
Dieu, okay,
Like
Deus.
Deus,
Okay.
right? From the Greek Deus, and then it comes from the Greek. Actually, if you replace the D with the Z, it comes from Zeus.
Zeus, I see.
So it comes from the Greek deity.
Gotcha.
That is the name, it is in actually.
It's Zeus
And it's also
that transformed into.
Yes.
God.
It's also Hasatan. The same, still.
Okay. All right. I pose this question. Would you consider some of today's televangelists to take the name of Yah in vain?
No.
No? Who says no? And why? Okay.
But I mean, in essence, they're using our Father's word. So they are taking his word, if they're saying GAD, so taking his word as nothing, yes, and that's still, in essence, him.
Because they're still putting his word out, but they're, go ahead, yes.
I would say yes. Reason
Okay.
why I say that is because they use the same Bible that we use. So if they, for instance, like how Lydia was bringing up the whole Zeus thing, right? If a person, some people are just straight pagan, like they are pagan, like that's some people are just, they are pagan and they have pagan deities and they have pagan scrolls, what we would consider to be pagan. So I would say a televangelist or somebody that's saying that they represent the God of the Bible that we all read, yes. Because they are saying, regardless if they know whether or not it means Zeus or if they say JC or whatever, they're saying that they represent this God in this Bible. And
yes.
this Bible has a set of rules and a set of guidelines that comes with him. So
Yes.
even if you don't know his name, you're saying that you represent that God of that Bible. Now, if they stood up there and they did whatever that they were doing and they put out some other scrolls or some other stuff from some other, culture or something, whatever.
Right.
Then, okay, then you're just being a straight pagan and you're not trying to represent, like, this God. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Wiccan is just a Wiccan. Like,
So- So what I would call it is deception, deceiving,
Yes.
sort of? Right, deceiving.
on purpose.
Our next one. Somebody read that one for me? Anybody?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to Yahuwah your Elohim. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy.
Does that seem hard to follow?
You mean we get a free day off?
Why is
Well,
it?
yes, I'm telling you, for a lot of people it is. But it's
Tell me why.
hard.
Tell me why.
Because it's not just to go to church. It's also that you don't go grocery, you don't spend money, you don't cook, you don't work. And people are so used to like, oh, let's go to eat after church.
Because of why? Something called tradition.
Yes. So you know how tradition is hard to get rid of. Remove that.
Traditions of man are hard to get rid of.
If you don't
And
mind.
they will make every excuse in the world to keep that tradition. Go ahead.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Has anybody here had a situation where you've dealt with family members who don't believe like you, and you're trying to observe the Shabbat, right? Just trying to follow what the commandments talk about, and it's like something extra happens always.
Yeah.
Okay, see, because I personally believe that that's the spirit. I just think when you're chilling other days, and you can really go most of the day you're chilling in the house, but then specifically on this day, it's extra. It's you want to do. Yeah, I'm like, well, that's a spirit that's saying those.
Like I went home to bury one of my grandmas and I was visiting the other. And she pulls out pork chops, 2 racks full. Right? I'm like, oh honey, you don't. I was like, no, grandma, thank you, but I don't, no more pork. But I just do some, some leftover chicken. But I'm like, golly, and they were big, big packages from Prince. So like she's gonna do it up.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean on a Saturday.
Well, nah, it was just I think it was just on just a normal day. Like it's like you don't do the pork. I'm like, no, I don't do the pork no more, grandma. Or the crab or anything else.
It's not a mistake that they made Saturday. I mean, that's the day that you do all the I gotta fix something at the house. I gotta
Home Depot, bro.
Yeah, something. I'm gonna do something.
We should do the heavy cleaning.
Yeah,
on
do yard.
Saturday.
That's the day they do everything. And that's the tradition,
And it goes back to who is it, Constantine, who actually changed it up and said that Sunday will be the venerable day of worship, because unless you were a farmer out in the fields, everyone was to go in on a Sunday, And
it's traditionally, you're right.
Yeah.
You still have it out here where it's a lot more chill. We still have it. I mean, I know y'all feel it, y'all. We all out there on the streets and we all whatever. It's a lot more chill on a Sunday out here than it should be on a Saturday.
Right. But
we call them church
Sunday
drivers.
But I look at it also, it's not even if they say, well, that's my day of worship, it's Sunday, well, okay, that's your day of worship. Let's see. What do you do after you get out of church? Well, number one, you're looking at that watch. Football game, and also they're going out to Golden Corral.
Come on.
The trough.
They're doing everything, but so they're just doing that Sunday part, going to church. Other than that, there is no.
So you're saying, and make sure I understand what you're saying. So when they say, the Sabbath is Sunday for me, you're saying in response to that, well then, are you still cooking and cleaning?
Yep.
You still buying and selling?
Yes. You go to grocery shopping?
Yeah.
Grocery shopping.
So it's not really their Sabbath.
No, it's a normal day.
It's a normal day.
You just go to church. You just add the church.
Exactly. You're just adding church to your normal normal day. But the thing is that they don't realize that the body will shut down. I don't think that. One of the things I would say is that the Sabbath is a gift. Like, I know the scripture says that it was made for us, right? Like it was for us. So my thing is that your body literally will shut down if you do not rest. So Yah gave that to us as a gift. So let's just say, okay, so you say the Sabbath is Sunday, but then you don't rest, like you don't stop, like you don't pause, you don't reflect.
Recharge.
You don't recharge. Like even if recharging is this, because maybe you're not sleeping, but you're still being recharged for the week. You're shedding off all the stuff that you've been carrying. You're getting a good the Most High's word deep down in you. You're worshiping. You're spending time in communion with Him. And even though you do that every day, it's a set apart time right now. On Sunday, we weren't doing that. We were spending that little time, and like you said, looking at the watch. The pastor was standing up there saying, I know y'all trying, I'm going to get y'all out of here. I know y'all trying to get home because I'm trying to watch the Cowboys too. They were telling us that.
Yeah, honestly.
So, I mean, it just seemed like it's just a regular day that you just kind of just go and do that real fast, and then
They acting like it was a burden to do too.
that's it. That part. That's what I mean. Like it's a problem. Like it's like, and it was always, it's like hectic. Like you're just like, like you're trying to like just be there, just be there for that little bit of time. And when it starts going on for
Show
too
your
long.
new threads.
Oh yeah.
Like just dedicate a minimum of time to
Yes.
God, right?
Yes.
Just
The
dedicate the
minimum.
minimum of time.
Yeah.
Check the box.
Because when I was in France, I was observing the Shabbat on Sunday, right? Because it's the 7th day of their calendar. We're on a different calendar, right? That's the day that they decide to make a barbecue. That's the day they were deciding to the whole family to come and eat. And me, I was just like, I had my headphones because I was listening to the worship and to the lesson afterwards. And the only thing that they did that I told them, well, that's the Shabbat, what y'all doing, is that they were actually taking a nap in the afternoon.
You didn't rest me.
Getting a rest.
I hear you.
After working hard at the beginning of the day.
Hard cooking them chitlins. The biggest thing for me.
The pork part, they were respectful. They were very respectful for the pork part and stuff. So I don't have to complain about that.
I hear you. The biggest thing for me, and this is what I even to some of my family, is that it doesn't matter what you look at all this. The most important thing to me was that he blessed that day. He set it apart. He said, this is the day. You can rest whatever day you want to, but this is the day that I am assigning this. And for me to hear that and understand that, and it wasn't until I was, walking in my faith that I really, wait up. That was my first question. Some of the men, you all know my story. That my first questions to some of the pastors were, why are we here? Because if he set this day apart out of all others, why are we going against it? That was my thing, and that's what started me on my walk into the truth. Next one, I'll read it. Honor thy father and your mother, that your days be long in the land that Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. We just blown this one out of the water in today's society. We really have. Young men are not listening to their fathers. A lot of young men don't even have a father in the home to listen to. Women aren't listening, young ladies aren't listening to their moms, because if they did, we'd be in a whole lot better shape. Young men be in a whole lot better shape taking care of if we did that. So, and I think our society doesn't even want us to do that. And I talked about this earlier.
And want you to be raised by your favorite pop star.
Twerking and
Parents wants to be their friends. They want to be their children's friends. I witnessed that a lot in France because culturally, like the way they raise their children is so different from us.
I tell you
like even my own nieces and nephews, they have some liberties in the way they open their mouth that if it was Jordan and my
those that couldn't see, that was an elbow to the face.
So it's like I have a friend, I'm not gonna name you, but I have a friend and she was just pouring a drink. She poured a drink and her daughter told her, well, you put too much in your, what? You put too much in your, you took too much of the drink. And I'm like, chill, girl. Before I get you, but the mom didn't say anything. And I'm like, I asked her, did you buy the juice? She said no. She said, so your mom can take the whole bottle if she wants to. You don't buy no juice. But when your child is already checking you on how much juice you put on your drink, on your glass, imagine other stuff that she's checking you on. And I just witnessed that for a couple of days, but I was like, nah. And she's only 12.
How many of you parents in here allow your children to put do not enter signs on their door or bedroom?
I wish.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I'm just,
You won't have
they ain't got it.
remove the door.
But if you remember, check this out.
You can have a
Curtain over there.
Go in your bathroom and change.
I need some privacy.
Go in your bathroom and change. Because the thing about it is that, like what y'all were saying, that like the generations are so weird. Like they have all these new challenges, right? And they put the grandma, the mom, and then the daughter. And then they put it there, and the person is like, they're saying, guess which one is grandma? And yeah, because they all look the same. Because they all look the same age. They're all dressed the same way. The grandma's body is shaped. Like, like they have all that stuff. And people are cheering it on. They're like, oh my gosh, the grandma looks just as young as the daughter or the granddaughter. She can wear that just like her. And then they doing all the dance moves, dropping low and stuff. And people are just cheering it on like, get it, granny. And like just stuff like that. And this is not like appropriate. Like this is ridiculous. My mom would have never she would have never got out there and been like, let me do the dances that y'all are doing out here. She'd be like, let me show y'all what we used to do, but not let me
That was this number right here. That was this right here, y'all. That's all they were doing back then. It wasn't none of this other stuff. But no, what I think about is, and you can ask any of my children, I told them since they could understand, I'm not your friend. And they understand that. Daddy is not your friend. And from my oldest to my youngest, I tell them when they become adults, then we can work on being friends. But my job is not to be a friend. My job is to raise you so that you become men and women who know how to act.
You can get married off.
Yes, exactly. So that's how I look at that.
Marriage material.
Otherwise, you have a 40 years old still living at your house.
You know?
In the basement.
That ain't in the basement.
What's that have to do with it?
Yeah. But on that, when I asked about that, because there was a mass shooting years ago, and they went to those children's homes, and that's some of the stuff that was up on their door in their house. Do not enter. I wish a child would. Honor, definition, to demonstrate high respect and great esteem for someone. Do we think that's still going on these days with our parents and children? No. Not at all.
And of course, you're saying for the ones for the children who do have parents who actually are good. You know, who actually are doing the job.
Doing the job right, yeah.
You know,
no, don't get me wrong. There's tons of it out there, but what do we see? What is society showing us?
Oh, they showing us it's only different.
Right.
I mean,
and they want to keep pushing it.
Do you, there's those Disney shows, they are with our parents.
Right. Or they have
All the time. Or they talk down to the parents like the parents don't know anything.
right. The
Especially
parents
the
are always
dad.
stupid.
Yeah, but that's always stupid.
Yes, especially the dad. Oh, and don't let it be a rude.
I know.
Yeah, but
He might
they
have
always
Well, he just want to be in the show.
they make fun of the dad, the authority. Like it's just like he just goes to work and he's just like it's kind of like that.
He's numb when he comes
That
home.
show, you know, people used to always talk about it was the man who had the tools. He had the tools.
Tim the Two-Man Taylor.
Tim the Two-Man Taylor, right? He was the guy that everybody was doing all, you know, he was like a monkey, man. Like all he did was, he was like that guy that has his own little show that just recently got sued. The extreme right-wing dude. And he's like, I'm a man, I eat meat.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's like it's like a dumbing down, you know, it's like a dumbing down of the male, and all he does is just go to work and like he doesn't have any understanding of like the rest of the family life.
Right. Yep.
Another thing when honor comes in place too is when you know you've been raised a certain way.
Oh, you going right into it. Go ahead.
You know your family has certain values, even if you don't believe it or you don't 100% buy into it. You should go out of your way not to bring disrespect to them. That's one thing. That's one thing I'll give my daughter who moved out. Nadara. She says, you know, she know. Yeah, she been out. Anyway, that's no story. For a few months. It's been a few months. But anyway, she knows what our values are. She knows what we stand for. So that was one of the reasons she said, I respect that. And I don't want to bring dishonor here.
Right.
You know, and I know I'm not fully into it yet. I'm still learning. I want to find this for myself. And there's certain things she just won't do or won't let herself be caught doing or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she's conscious of that. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's
foundation was laid.
Yeah, a foundation was laid. So, but you got some people, they don't care about it. They'll talk against it. Yeah, my parents, this and that. I don't care. I ain't buying it. They don't religious stuff. You know, you shouldn't do that. That's bringing dishonor onto your house.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And that's what is okay. So the flip flop to that was doing what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does that look like?
Exactly.
Yeah. You shall not murder. It's very huge, and there is a difference in between what murder and killing. Okay, and I think you all remember that?
Yeah.
The American Heritage Dictionary defines to kill as to deprive of life or to put to death. It says about murder. The killing, this is the same dictionary. The killing of another person without justification or excuse, especially the crime of killing a person with malice aforethought or the recklessness manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life. And you all remember my examples of murder, right? Just a couple. I mean, I could have shown you a lot more, but these kind of. Just because.
Which one is that?
Look at this one right here. That little girl's no more than 11, 10 years old.
She's smiling.
Smiling.
Live today.
Didn't they have postcards that they send out?
Oh, they did more than postcards. They would send body parts. Here in Texas, you know, there's a few towns here that had thousands of people show up to see people get murdered.
And it's not anything, like the sad thing about it is that I know we refer to it as slavery, right? But when you watch any of like shows that are based in medieval times or whatever, you see that that's what they did. They went out to make an example of the people. So they did beheadings in front of everybody. They did hangings in front of everybody because they wanted to show that if you go against the king or the queen or whoever, this is what's going to happen to you. So they just took that lifestyle that they were living and they really took it out of the scriptures. I'm going to tell you how. Because in the scriptures, whenever there's a stoning, it tells you in there that the whole congregation is supposed to come and they're supposed to all participate in this consequence, I guess you would say, that's coming from breaking a command that the Most High has set. So they take it and they twist it, and now they're saying you're breaking our commands. Therefore, not the Most High's commands, but you're breaking our commands, and we are your God. This system, you must listen to us, and if you're caught doing something that we deem as being against our truth, then we will kill you and make an example out of you, and we will all participate to show that we're all on one accord in what it is that we're doing. So they twist it.
Now this is a fear back then, and up until I was probably in my, well, it still happens every now and again, but not in the mass that it does now. But what's the fear now? It's not them killing us. No, it's not them killing us. Boom, say it again. Boom, murdering each other.
Absolutely.
Just no regard.
Really nice. They did a number.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's the silliest reasons too.
I mean,
Without justification or excuse. With malice aforethought or the reckless manifesting extreme indifference to the value of human life. And we project that more than any other culture in the United States on each other, don't we? Through music videos, through the movies, the TV shows. I mean, it's glorified.
and laugh about it.
And laugh about it, yes. When you got young men as old as 8 years old running around with masks on, shooting up, you know. Yeah, so it's kind of, wow. You shall not commit adultery. And I looked up, you can go different places and find out, and I kind of just kept it generic. Adultery is officially defined as sexual acts between a married person and someone who is not that person's spouse. To commit adultery is an inherently controversial act and is the most commonly tied ground for divorce. I think a couple of years ago we heard that adultery only involved one side, gender. A couple of years ago we had heard that from a lesson we had gotten.
Well, there's some that still teach it.
Some still teach it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
We're not doing that.
Yes. But yeah, so I want to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because what did Mashiach
Just go ahead.
What Mashiach said. Yeah, what Mashiach said.
Where's the other person that's going
Yeah.
to be with you?
Yeah.
Boom.
So yeah, anyway, it goes to go to your point.
Takes two.
Yes.
Takes two to stone when it comes to adultery.
Hey. Boom.
Not
Yeah,
committing
you have
adultery
to
with
look
yourself.
upon somebody with-
Does adultery only mean sexual relations though?
No.
Oh, okay. Explain yourself. The first one to say no?
It can be because adultery is just like the top, right? But underneath adultery is also fornication. So within that, within adultery, you can have fornication, which also means that you're worshiping other gods. So you can go off and you can be worshiping other Elohim, and
Committing
that is
adultery
committing
against?
adultery against the Most High.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
And that's where you already answered it for me. And you already did it. Did Israel commit adultery? Has Israel committed adultery? Yes. Is this one? Yes. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Okay, yes, sir. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. So yes, back to you.
Yes.
Just follow the big sister.
Yep. All right, so we know that, yes, we can commit adultery against our Adonai. You shall not steal. This one I think is pretty self-explanatory. I don't think there's a lot of that I can.
Universal.
I mean,
It's
it
very
is.
So
Put your hand in something.
Stealing is stealing everywhere.
Everywhere. And guess what? You still in some cultures,
Yeah.
you lose
Yeah,
that
you
hand.
steal it,
Oh,
you take your
yeah.
hand.
That means that you begging for somebody to light your cigarette. You keep stealing.
Dang.
I ain't thinking about
That is
it.
true, yeah.
And if you're really hard-headed,
And don't they take in some countries, they take the hand that you use to like eat. So like one hand, yeah, because one hand is used to wipe and one hand is used to eat. So they will sometimes even take the one that's used. So then now you kind of
stuck.
Yeah.
Yep. And I do believe that okay, yeah, self-explanatory, right?
yeah.
One thing about stealing that gets me though is that you think that's such an easy thing to do. Not take what don't belong to you. So a thief.
But a thief is cutting, right?
Yeah, they're coveting. It's like you have no impulse control. That means you can't control any of your actions. If you can't keep your hands off other people's stuff.
Well, it happens in the corporate world too now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm saying all that. The big businessmen with the suits are taking all the money from everybody. Yeah, same thing.
And what does the Torah say to do whenever you steal something? I know y'all know that.
You gotta
Pay it back.
Yeah, recompense, yeah.
Even if you're stealing to eat,
for a good
yeah, for a good
reason.
reason, like
Steal.
you're stealing.
How many times over? I want to say, I don't know.
I want to say it's like number 7, but I don't know.
I think it's 7 too, but I'm
Is it 7?
I'm gonna look at it. I think it's 7.
Is it 2? It's 5? Oh. Well, we're not gonna move on until we find out.
Okay, we're gonna find it.
So in the meantime, I have a story, but it's a little gore, but
No, it's 7.
It's-
Yeah, 7 times.
7
It's
times.
7 times. Okay.
7. Okay, thank you.
There was a dude in France that got
Hang on just a second, you all. We have a story here. Real quick, go ahead.
There's a dude in France that were caught by the police because he got caught. He was trying to steal a car, and then they run his DNA, and they find out that his DNA matched with 6 rapes that happened. And he was like, well, he was going to parking lots to steal cars, and when he was seeing a girl, he was raping her. I know, and it's like how in his mind he was like, it's the way that he explained it that was like so, like I had a hard time to understand his logic. But he was like, I was not going to rape a girl, I was going to steal a car. in the garage. And I'm like, how do you go with stealing and you end up doing that? But we know that sin brings another sin.
That's why the sin begot sin.
Because it was in the parking lot at midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever, and if the girls were showing up,
then he was raping too.
I mean, ridiculous.
Like I just said, no impulse control.
No, at all.
You know?
At all. And then he was stealing their jewelry too.
Oh, well, see.
I'll take
You
that.
know what I mean?
And then he's probably lying. So it's like, okay, so you stealing, you lying, because you have to lie to try to say that you didn't do it.
Of course.
Okay, we're at work.
I just see
School teachers, you're at school. You got some notepads there. You know where I'm going. You got some pens and pads there. Oh, my child could use this, or you know, if you're at work, I can use these pens. Is that Stacy?
Oh, it is. It doesn't belong to you.
So it doesn't have to be something major. Doesn't have to be a car. Doesn't have to stealing. You hear that, young people? Stealing is stealing. Stealing is still. Oh yes. Go ahead. You got a rebuttal on that?
So, like, see, like, you do steal a pen, right? Or like something. What if you just like place like the amount that the pen was? What if you just place that on the table? Or that's
So why didn't you take that amount and go to the store and get one?
But like maybe like there wasn't like a store around, right? The pen.
And is there other people around?
Yeah.
Think on that. Think on it. Yes, what we got? Yes, ma'am.
I was of that yesterday. I wrote a song and on their notepads at school, I took a picture and tore the rest of the paper up and threw it away. I was so conscientious. Taking something that did not belong to me.
I commend you.
No, I wasn't saying for that.
No, I commend you because I'll tell you right now. Y'all haven't mentioned my name, have you? I've taken postage from, you know.
Oh, of course.
You know, not thinking about it.
You
Just,
can accidentally steal it all the time.
You print something personal, for example.
what's that?
You print something personal.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Yes, you're using that company's
You're using the
resources, right?
Yeah. Or
I'm sorry.
you supposed to, this is one thing, I'm going to tell you, the city of San Antonio, you can be fired for this. Let me tell you, it's called time stealing.
Oh.
And what it is, it means that, I don't know if anybody knows what this means, but it means that you're on the clock, but you're taking a long lunch, but you clock in, but you don't work. Yeah, like you clock in and you're doing other stuff. I mean, that's time stealing. And that is stealing from the city or from whatever job
company you might
the
work,
company
yes.
that you
That
have.
works only when you clock in and clock out, because when you salaried, not
Yeah, this is different.
Because my husband is salaried and he work until midnight sometimes, and then
This is
there's
different.
nobody that recognizes it, you know. So it's a give and take.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know, because they work. They work.
They're stealing his time.
Exactly.
I didn't say when people like they're gonna be late. And, you know, you gotta clock in with a code. Hey girl, hey.
That's wrong. They for me.
They actually made it to where at the job that I used to work for, the city, they made it to where you had to use your fingerprint to clock in because people were calling and saying, hey, can you clock in? Because I'm gonna be late. The time card.
Here, I sent you my thumb.
But I'm glad you said that. You don't mind. I was assuming.
No, go ahead.
5 seconds later. I'm glad you said that because now it just goes back to the notion that we have to pray and ask Most High to forgive us every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about taking,
Simple.
like you said, the ink thing, that's something everybody
That
does.
everybody does.
I got free stuff, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course.
Yep, exactly.
That's free stuff.
Oh, what was that?
The clock is
You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Examples of bearing false witness against are everywhere in our modern society. Turning back the odometer on a used automobile in order to get a better price.
misrepresenting the age of a child in order to buy the less expensive Happy Meal. Cheating on tests.
So,
I met a guy who actually took his brother-in-law's GED test for him. Sir. You do it at home, take it back in.
That's lit.
Charging for work that was not done. Yep, get bad air conditioning. They say you're supposed to get this, you only got that.
Yeah, I know all
I've
about
been
that.
there.
Yep, I'm doing it right now.
Yes.
Welcome to the clarity. It happened to us not so long ago.
Label shield.
Sometimes you gotta be.
Hang on. I got over here first. Go ahead.
Sometimes you gotta be a donkey.
Go ahead.
So like, I'm guessing what bearing false witness against your neighbors, like, you go to the store and you steal something, and then when the cops come to your house, you blame it on your friends.
Why not? Yeah. Bearing false witness against your friend. Then they go to your friend's house and be like, what? You're no longer friends. What you got?
So, sometimes I'll be on like YouTube, right? And I'll be like looking at some
Excuse me.
I forgot what his name was. But it's like this TikTok person's, it's like a compilation of them. And it'll be like, it's so he'll like act out the mother. He'll be like, kids under 10 can eat free, right? The good thing you're 10, right, honey? And the kid will be like, I'm 17, and then he'll just smack him with the bonus.
Hey, I gotta admit, I did that to my children years ago. Walk into like a buffet. Woo, 'cause that adult regular buffet was kind of.
You 10 today.
Before you get out of the car, you are 10 and you are 9.
Like, no, you 10 today.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Been there, done that.
That's called saving money.
You say it's called saving money?
We went to a buffet, they charged me Kaya €3. And he ate 3 fries. I was like, ooh, €1 per fry. That's a little expensive. I mean, we were like, that's crazy.
Hey, another thing with bearing false witness too, a lot of times you don't try to, because I've been guilty of this myself. You will hear something and you will repeat it. You don't know it's really fact or not.
Spread rumors.
Yeah, so I have to catch myself time. Hey, did you hear so and so such?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know. Let me show you.
Yep. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. May I?
Please
should I
explain what that means.
nor his donkey.
I know you know.
Maybe I should not have put so much emphasis on it. I apologize.
You did kind of say it.
You felt that
So what does covet mean?
You want exactly what he has. So it's not like, okay, my friend, they have a nice house and I have a desire to also have a nice house and have a nice job and to have a nice spouse and to have good children, right? Your friend can have all those things, your neighbor can have all those things, and you can have a desire to have those things, but what makes it coveting is that you want theirs. Like you want that one.
You got something, but you want
that, you want that one. You want specifically the one that they have.
Exactly.
So, like, you can say, I want a Tesla. My friend has a Tesla. I would like a Tesla.
Yeah.
Right?
But you want theirs.
But you want their Tesla.
Yeah.
You want their
Pretty
stuff.
much, you take the family picture, you cut the mom's.
Yes! Like you see on the crime. Yeah, you put your face.
In the put your face instead. That's what it is.
gotcha.
You know, I thought that was far-fetched. I thought that was far-fetched. I got a coworker. She just finished her divorce. Some girl from back in the day that her husband cheated on her with. Literally, I mean, she wanted him, and she said, "I don't care. You can still be there too, but you can be part of the family too. You know what I mean? She wanted her life, she wanted her children, she wanted everything.
She wanted her house?
She wanted her house. She wanted everything she had back from her hometown. Yeah, I was like, I ain't never seen nobody like that before. I can see her take a man, but she wants your house, your car, your children, she wants everything. And this,
Your life.
she was psycho.
That's what I would call it.
Yeah.
Those good story finishing murder sometimes.
Or if you can't, especially if you can't get it, which is why I believe that the Most High tells us not to do this stuff. It's not so much that oh, okay, don't want what somebody else has. It's more so what it leads to. Because if you can't get it, what do you do to get it? So that means that you can steal. That means that you're gonna commit adultery. That means you're gonna lie. Yeah, you're gonna do everything to get that thing because you want it so much, and you will stop at nothing to get it.
And I forget the verse, but he wants us to be content.
That's right.
You know, he doesn't want us out
And
here
for
trying
what you have.
Right. Strongly wants something else that someone else has. So when I get my G554 4 square. Anyways.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Like, man, I want to pay $500 a month for insurance. I'm so jealous.
Yes, real quick, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is just something I wrote up, you all. Matter of fact, it was probably the first month I joined our assembly. And I had brought it to someone. I was all excited, you know, I'm getting started with the class.
There you go. Look at
I got crushed. But so I'm gonna let y'all see it now. I even did it in English and Spanish. I was so happy.
Crushed. Your timing is now.
My timing is now, right? And it's still very basic. Like I said, I'm KISS. And by this we know that we know him if we guard his commands. This is coming out of the, what do we call it?
The New Testament. We New Testament. New Testament.
Exactly. So I pretty much jumped out of all the old with the old commandments. They're old commandments. You know, we no longer have to pay attention to because we're under grace now. Praise y'all. And we are now. And so I'm pulling these examples out for all those New Testament people out there. And what I was doing was just showing this to people. If they were Spanish speaking, I flipped my little laminated page over.
Yeah.
And well, riddle me this. Tell me why. If this is saying this. Okay. But anyways, here we go. Whatsoever we ask, we receive of him because we keep his commandments and do these things that are pleasing in his sight. 1 John 3:32. If ye love me, and I made this one bold, keep my commandments. You can't get around it. He that hath commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved by my Father. And I will love him and will manifest myself to him.
Red letter, right?
No, what?
John 14:21. Red letter, I should put in red letter, but I underlined every word. So this is back before I learned a little bit. You know, remember the Sabbath day. We already went over that one. The world passes away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yah abideth forever. The will is what? Commandments. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. Revelations, Apocalypse 22:14. One more time? Here we go. One more time?
3 more times.
Today, man has put aside the commandments of Yah for his own feelings. You know, it's all about feelings. And the sad thing is that the church is not fighting on the side of Yah. That's what I believe. That's what I put in there. And I put some verses in there. Can somebody pull up Romans 22 and 31? 22. Romans 1st chapter, 22 through 31.
I got it, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Where?
Where?
In my imaginary one.
No.
Such a jokester.
When you get it? And then can someone pull up Leviticus?
I'll grab that.
You're going to pull up all of them, 18 and 22. They're all one, they're the one verses, then 20 and 13, and then 22 and 5. And then the last one, Jeremiah 10, 2 through 5. Anybody got the first one? Romans.
Is that your hand up?
You got it? You got it? Romans? Oh, I thought you were raising your hand.
That was a piece of hair of mine.
I got it.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't stop that.
Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools, and change the glory of the incorruptible Elohim into an image made like to corruptible men, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanness, through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of Elohim into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause Elohim gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. And even as they did not like to retain Elohim in their knowledge, Elohim gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliceness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Elohim, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, is that what it is? Impossible? Yeah, impossible. Unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of Elohim that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasures in them that do them.
That's on the nightly news. Every day it seems like. Daily we hear that, what we just went through. I mean, and daily we see it. I mean, it's being projected in our schools.
Yes.
You know?
So how do they get around that?
How does a church say, well, it's okay, Jesus loves you?
Walking with the Hebrew.
I've been asked that question before. I'm like, hey, I put it simple. Sisters ain't getting in there. They just look at me like, I was like, yeah. Like you, I told them, you can be battling, like as a male, you can be battling that homosexual spirit. So like maybe that was
right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's right there.
But that doesn't mean you get
that means your brain is so I don't even know, it's so programmed. The scales are so much over your eyes that you really are not looking at it and understanding it to me.
It's weird because I believe it was King that showed me something. Some woman had made a TikTok. And you know these people think that they're so smart, so you have to answer them. Because that's what script says. Like, answer a fool in their folly because, you know, they think they're wise. Now you got to show them script that tells them they're not.
They're
right?
not, yep.
So there was a person that made a TikTok and she was saying, back in the Vulgate Bible, you know, they be doing on TikTok and stuff, it says right here that it doesn't mean that mankind should not lay with mankind. It means that mankind should not lay with boys. What?
Wow.
Meaning that they are saying that, oh no, it's against pedophilia. It's not against homosexuality. But when you go now let's go to Romans, right? So you can say, oh, that's the Old Testament, it's messed up. But when you go to Romans, it reads so clearly that it's saying that men are being with men and women are doing unnatural things with women. So then where do you take that away? Like, are you saying now that that's made up too? Because that's one of those things that's in the old and in the new that go right together. So you have people that when they read this, I don't understand how somebody can stand up there and say that I'm a homosexual Methodist pastor. Like, I don't understand that, because you are reading and you ascribe to the what you call New Testament, and it's in Romans right there.
Boom.
So
Yep.
how?
Hey, that's just a question I pose. I mean, I'm still saying how. You know,
Is there a
because I heard one young lady on a video from Hillsong talking about, well, we kind of skip over that part. You know? And I mean,
Okay, yeah.
but that's really the mentality. Don't skip over that part.
Cafeteria.
You know,
It's cafeteria mentality. You just
Yeah.
pick and choose what you
Louis. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you give me Leviticus, please? He's already got it.
Okay.
You didn't volunteer for him.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 22. Real quick, you shall not lie with mankind as with
Here
womankind.
goes that one.
It is an abomination. All right?
What is it?
An abomination.
Okay, real quick, hold it. What is an abomination? You know what is it?
It's like, kind of like, it's an act that angers God.
Huh. Yeah. Go ahead, young man.
Anything that's against the Ten Commandments, like adultery and
Okay, because if you commit the act, then that's doing something against what he told us not to do. So an abomination. An abomination to me is something that is. It's more. It's severe. It's like a serious detesting of something. You know.
It is.
It's like basically the scripture said it's the opposite use of whatever the Most High intended.
It's
to use.
repulsive.
Yeah.
It's repulsive to him.
It's not even just like, okay, you misused it. It's like
Right.
you bastardized it. You completely twisted it.
You
to
have
where-
twisted
That's
everything that I've ever produced you for.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then we got Leviticus 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Go back to what we talked about. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Alright, and the last one is Leviticus 22 and 5. For whosoever toucheth any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he hath. 22 and 5, right?
Maybe I'm
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me see. I think I know you.
You know where I was going? We'll come back to it.
Okay.
Who's got Jeremiah? I got it. You got it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Thus says Yahuwah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hand of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold, then fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it not move. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
And I am finishing up. The future belongs only to those which keep the commandments of Yahuwah and the faith of Yahushua. Ooh, hallelujah. That last bit, I wanted to just go back into, are you doing what you want to do? Or are you doing what Yah wants you to do? That's why I read that stuff out. People are doing what they want to do.
That's all I got. You know, it seems so simple. I mean, like, when you break it, you just look at the commandments. Look at what the Most High wants you to do.